What's up, guys? It's Kyle, also known as the Pandaman, and tonight we're going to show you what Mexican night looks like breaking a longer fast. All right, so we got Mexican night, Wednesday nights. We've been doing this for
a long time.
Probably 7 years.
Yeah.
Because LeBron James does it on Tuesdays. Taco Tuesday! I can't stand that guy, so we do it Wednesdays. But this is one of my favorite nights to eat, and kind of the concept of the way I eat, which Susie gets a kick out of, is you fast and then you have to build your ability to eat, have the feast and the appetite. You could probably give some insight as to what a meal looks like.
Yeah, so typically I'll make, especially on Wednesday nights, I'll make a huge fruit bowl. So it's enough to kind of carry through Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night. But I also love that too, because then the kids jump in and they'll have fruit as well. On the other nights, I'll make a fruit bowl just in his wooden bowl that you always see and everything. But I think what I love about Wednesday nights though too is going back a couple of years ago, that was one of his only nights that he was available to have dinner with the family at the same time. So now he's got the schedule where he can sit down at 5:30 and we could sit as a family. We can pray and give thanks for being all together. And that's one of my favorite things that kind of like kicks off the feast. And then all the food is in the middle of the table and everybody just starts jumping in and we start talking about our days and just, I think it's such a great experience. And it's a long time too. Like obviously the kids do not eat as much as he does or as long as he does, but then they stay at the table. Like we're all still at the table while he continues his meal and we're just...
No, not always.
Sometimes.
It takes a long time to eat.
Sometimes we leave them.
Yeah, it's the whole concept that you can eat the foods that you love and still get in the best shape of your life, but you don't have to restrict yourself. I spoke with a Major League Baseball player yesterday, and one of his concerns, he wants to start with the Panda diet. He says he's going to lose muscle, and he wants to put on muscle. I was explaining some of the science behind it to him, but if you optimize the hormones and really drive up your metabolic rate through your training and eating, that's how you drive it up. So the feast is important. You have to break your mindset of, if you're going to do what I teach with the fasting, the Panda diet, you have to restrict and count your calories and portion control. The body's only going to be able to absorb so much, and you'll get full. You can't out-eat what I teach, but that is how you drive up your metabolic rate, is through the feast. And it should be something that, like Devin was saying, that you look forward to, that's an event, rather than just something to check off the list, like another diet meal where you're eating 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day.
And you enjoy guilt-free.
Yeah.
I mean, whereas way back when you would weigh everything. Now it's just, you're scooping it out on your plate. You're not measuring anything, and you're not counting macros or calories or anything. You're just enjoying it.
Yeah, completely guilt-free, and having your cake and eating it too, which is the most liberating thing. That's really why. And
liberating for me too.
Yeah.
So
where I'm not a prisoner to the food.
Yeah.
I remember when we first started Mexican night, I was still doing that, where I would measure everything, and it was like, oh man, it tastes so good, but I'd only have, I'd still eat a good amount, but it wasn't nearly as enjoyable as the feast we're about to have. One of the questions I always get is, first, how do I break the fast? Which is going to be with fruit. I'll explain in a second. What type of fruit do I eat? And the reason that I do this, heard this from a doctor a long time ago. Fruit is digested further down in the intestines than other food. It's loaded with micronutrients. That's all I concern myself with, is micronutrients. Nothing to do with macros. That stuff takes care of itself. Way overrated. So you do that first. It also hits the stretch receptors in your stomach, which puts the brakes on. A lot of people have a concern that they're going to overeat if they start getting into this long-form fasting. A lot of times when people kind of mess up what I put them on, it's because they stop doing the fruit first, because it's got too much sugar, they think, and all this stuff. Fruit has so many health benefits. I don't know anybody that's gotten fat off eating fruit. So what type of fruit do I eat? Pineapples, oranges, apples, grapes, frozen cherries when we get them, mangoes. Tonight, Susie made like a whole bowl here that we'll kind of dive into. There's pineapple, strawberry, blueberries, cantaloupe, and raspberries.
Here's your frozen grapes, babe.
Frozen grapes, and the stuff that can be cleaned, we cleaned beforehand. And you can see the size of this. This is like a giant bowl. So if you even put that cottage cheese in there, you can't even really see it, right? Just to give you an idea. And this is 16 ounces. So scoop a bunch in here. you guys will get to see, and this is what I do every night besides Monday or if I'm doing a longer fast. I got a bunch of fruit right there. Then we go, this is one of my favorites. Frozen grapes, started doing this. I don't know when we started doing this, a little over a year ago. I think it was because the grapes would go bad so fast. So we clean them, start freezing them. Now, something I added in, I don't start people with this typically, but I used to love cottage cheese when I was younger. I started adding in cottage cheese to the fruit bowl when we have it. This one's pretty much kicked. And again, you don't have to weigh or measure any of this. That's part of the freedom of it. So that's good right there. And then some of my favorites are macadamia nuts or cashews. Kind of put what you want. So I'll put that. Sometimes it's just one, sometimes it's 3 or 4. And that is the fruit bowl. So you can see, this is probably, I would guess, it's between 3 and 4 pounds. And that's what I start with, that's my appetizer. There you have it, that's Mexican night. Who knows how much calories I ate? It was a lot. Still got a little room, so I'll probably do a little oatmeal or something in a little bit. But that's a feast, and that's what it should be. Now, when you do that, you might feel stuffed. It'll go away. Repeat the process the next day. I need you to do a couple things for me. I need you to hit the like button. I need you to subscribe and hit the notification button so you never miss anything that I'm putting out. And leave a comment down below. I'll respond to it, and I'll even maybe make a piece of content about it just for you.